Hello everybody. What is the relationship between these pictures? Celine, you know the relationship between these pictures?
No, we can use to log into that.
Internet. Information.
It's media.
Media.
Yeah, it is media. They are media. As we know, all of these pictures are media pictures which used to attract people to buy something, to read an article, and so on. So today I will tell you about a person who is created a media empire. This person started out as a newspaper publisher in his native Australia, and then he became a powerful media businessman with many publications in England and the United States. Do you know him? Now I will tell you about this person who is Robert Murdoch, and I will discuss 3 points about him, which are background, accomplishments, and interesting facts about him. Let's begin with the first point, which is background. In this point, I will tell you about his early life. He was born on March 11, 1931 in Melbourne, Australia. He graduated from Geelong Grammar in 1949. And then I will tell you about his wife. He has married 3 times. First marriage was from Patricia Walker in 1956, and they had a daughter, and they divorced in 1965. The second marriage was from Anatole in 1967, and they had 4 children, and then they divorced in 1999. Only 17 days after his second divorce, he got married from Wendy Ding, and they had 2 children. I told you a little bit about his background. Now let's move to the second point, which is accomplishments. In this point, I will tell you about his network, and I will tell you about his business. At first, he has a net worth of $12.5 billion. Now I will tell you about his business. He inherited his father's paper. He inherited his father's paper, the Sunday Mail and the News, in 1952. In 1973, he entered American newspaper business when he bought San Antonio, Texas dailies. In 1985, he bought a 20th Century Fox Film Corporation. In 1990, he found Star TV in Hong Kong. I told you a little bit about his accomplishments. Let's move to the next point, which is interesting facts about Robert. He had gone by his middle name, Robert, which was the name of his maternal grandfather. Also, his hobby when he was a child was high horseback riding. To sum up, I told you about Robert Murdoch, and I told you about his background. In this point, I told you about his early life. Also, I told you about his wives. Also, I told you about his accomplishments. In this point, I told you about his net worth and his business. Finally, I talked a little bit about interesting facts about him, which are about his name and about childhood hobby. Actually, Robert Murdoch is a famous rich person in the world, and he is created a media empire, and he created a media empire which is control the net, film, print, and so on. Thank you for listening to me. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
All right, listen, I would say for you, you had good use of transitions and your pronunciation was pretty clear. My advice would be don't look at the PowerPoint, remember to look out at the audience. And this goes for all of you guys, just don't look at the PowerPoint. It's not there for you, it's there for the audience. So your eyes should be always out. You should be making eye contact with people. So right now I'm talking to Celine for a little bit, then I move on to Koki, I'm talking now for a little bit, and okay, now I'm unpick his eye, scratch his face for a while, and I'm making eye contact now. Okay, so most of the time you want to be looking at the audience. The only time you really want to look back at the PowerPoint is again to check, make sure you're on the right slide, turn around and talk. Make sure you're on the right slide, turn around and talk. Also like enthusiasm, we just have to have, but that goes for most of you, need enthusiasm. Again, you should sound like you're interested in your topic. Usually Dollar has pretty good enthusiasm, usually. You're kind of more active and you have more energy to you, which is good when you're presenting because we get bored. The audiences are going to get bored, and that's any presentation. Trust me, it's not just you guys. American presentations are boring. I had to watch a lot of them as a student. If their energy is low or they're reading, you're bored. You just, even if the content is good, even if it's good material, good information, you just get bored. Because their voice is flat, and it does not rise and fall, and they have no energy, you just, even if the info is great info, they have all the research and all the information required, it just gets boring because the energy is so low. It brings your energy down. So don't look at the PowerPoint too much. Enthusiasm, let's have more enthusiasm. Your voice was loud enough, the speed was a little bit slow. So, you know, again, that's another thing to keep the energy going is don't talk very slow because people kind of get tired and it just takes longer. And then your 7-minute presentation might be, I don't know, 12 minutes. And I'm talking too slow, it kind of gets relaxing. Your mind starts to rest. Peaceful. Yeah. So again, energy and a medium pace. So about as fast as I'm talking now. I'm not really talking too fast. I'm not really talking too slow. Okay, keep it at a good medium pace. So, and that also makes it sound like you have more energy. So if you're talking slow, it sounds like you have less enthusiasm. Other things, maybe just there were a couple of spelling errors on the slide, like hobby and hoppy. But that's an Arabic thing. You guys always have to be careful with the P's and the B's. The P's and the B's. Okay, the P's and the B's. With the Asian students, L's and R's. Okay, we can tell right away. When I read an essay with no name on it, I know where you're from. I know what country or what region of the world you're from based on your spelling mistakes and your grammar issues. We can all do it. All the teachers can tell you. Remove the name. I can tell you where they're from. Okay, what grammar issue they have tells me. Same thing with pronunciation. All right, so P's and B's. But your pronunciation of P's and B's is not too bad. Other things. Just, yeah, more enthusiasm, and don't look at the PowerPoint. Don't talk too slow. And I would like to see, like, for all of you guys, when you have main points, have a picture. When you have sub-points, so when you say, you know, Rupert Murdoch opened up, he bought 20th Century Fox. Okay, so whenever you see anything, Fox News, Fox Movies, 20th Century Fox, Fox Studios, all the TV shows, that's his company. He owns a lot of newspapers around the world. He owns a lot of TV stations. Almost a lot of the sports that you watch on TV are owned by him. You might not know it, but he owns a lot of it. He's a media guy. He owns a lot of media, print media. And he's also, this is also not in the presentation, but he's also known, or kind of really well known or famous for trying to affect people's opinions with his media. He gets in trouble sometimes because he's very anti-Obama. He liked George Bush's party. He's very anti-Obama's party. So if you watch his news stations, you never hear anything good about Obama. So actually he's gotten in trouble sometimes because the media is supposed to be in the middle, but his is really powerful, affecting people's opinions. So I would like to see a little bit more content, or when you have a sub-point, have a picture. So, you know, in 1997 he bought 20th Century Fox, have a picture of the movie studio. Then he bought this newspaper, have a picture of the newspaper. So kind of like a visual that goes with each main point that you're talking about, or even a sub-point that you talk about. Okay. Because like when you talked about his wives, we had a picture of each wife, right? So when you talk about the more important stuff, the businesses that he got, that he bought up, say this one, he got this one, he bought this newspaper, he got this TV channel. Because a lot of the programming you watch on TV is, he runs it. Okay, that guy, a lot of the TV that you see is his. Okay, next up, let's talk about your next presentation.
Excuse me, Scott.
Yes?
Can you turn the AC on?
I might be able to.